All right. In this video here, I'm going to demonstrate using Terraform to deploy a couple of resources. Um, Terraform will deploy the S3 bucket and a Cloudfront distribution in the US East 1 region. So the steps for these for this demo is to one, log into the console and then verify that S3 bucket does not exist and Cloudfront distribution does not exist. And then step number two is to verify and go over the contents of the Terraform files. And then step number three is to do the actual application of the Terraform script, applying the script to deploy our resources. And then step number four is to log into the console again and then verify that the resources have been deployed accordingly. And then finally, on step number five, I'm going to access the file from S3 using the CloudFront distribution. So let's take a look at our console and verify that none of these resources exist. All right, so here's the console here. I'm in the S3 console, and if I do a search for general purpose buckets, nothing's there. And if I go into CloudFront, open it into a new tab here, and there's no distribution either, so we are good to go. And now I'm going to go back uh, into the Terraform code here, and let's go over some of these things. So the variables file.tf is the basically contains the necessary information to log in to the AWS environment. So what this tests the parameters and the variables that the script's going to use, and the actual AWS key and the secret key is in this file here, the terraform.tf file. That's where I define the true value of that, and in that terraform.tf file, I'm going to also define the US-East-1 region. Okay, so that's the variables file and the terraform.tf vars file. And then actually this is from a previous run, so let me get rid of this here. Okay, and then here's our main file. In the main file, excuse me, in the main file, these are the contents here. For the first step is to say the providers can be AWS, refer to the variable regions and access keys. And then for the S3 bucket, this is the resource here. This is going to be the name of the S3 bucket to create. And then force destroy is for basically when it's all said and done, and I want to destroy my my infrastructure. I'll just force S3 to be deleted, even though there is going to be a file in there. And here, this is the public access block bucket policy here. And if you guys want to know where to find all that stuff, basically you can go to Terraform's website, and under AWS here, you can search for, say, S3, right? And then S3 here has all of the syntaxes to create a bucket, and then there's other stuff here. S3 objects. A lot of this could be a lot of detail, so you might not need everything. If I type in CloudFront, under CloudFront we have various things. Create a CloudFront distribution here. You list the origin right there, and then various other settings. Origin access control, etc., etc. So let's go back into the Visio code. Okay, so here we go. Um, I've already created some of this. This is basically the various components for my S3 bucket, block access control, public access, upload an object called s3-logo.jpg, and that's in here that I've uploaded into my directory. All right, so that's there. Here is the bucket policy. All right, bucket policy here. By using the EOF, we are basically saying we're writing this in raw text format, so it looks cleaner. And then here's the ARN for the S3 bucket. And then to create a Cloudfront distribution, I'm calling my origin, my S3 origin name is going to be my S3 origin. Let's see, so Cloudfront distribution here. Price class 200, basically that's medium range. Price class 100 is to use the most the least the most cost effective region. Price class 200 is to use the medium range region that serves traffic faster than price class 100. And then if you were to say price class all, that means it's going to be the more expensive option. Means the CloudFront is going to use all of its available edge location, whichever region or location serves traffic fastest to you, and to use certificates. All right, so that being said, for the output file, I said, okay, when you're done, give me the value of the S3 bucket ID and then give me the value of the Cloudfront distribution name. All right, so here we go. Let me just get rid of this here. I was doing some testing earlier. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do Terraform init. We're initializing connection to the AWS API. Okay, that looks good. The next step we're going to do is a Terraform plan. And that's going to do a dry run, and it's going to check if everything's going to be okay before it actually does the full deployment. Okay, it says everything's good here. All right. And then now I'm going to run the Terraform apply. It's going to ask me, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. All right, it's creating some files here. It's creating some resources. S3 bucket creation. That looks good. Let's check our resources. Let's get back to S3. General bucket here. Refresh. There it is. It just created a bucket right now. Let's go back to CloudFront. If I hit refresh, there it is. It just created a CloudFront distribution, but it's still in the deploying phase, so that's not ready yet. So we'll wait on that. If I click on this, what do I see here? It's deploying status still. Okay, great. So let's take a look at the Terraform progress. Go back to Visio code, and here you can see that it's still running here. You can see the time is taking. So this is going to take about 5 minutes because I ran this before. So I'm going to hit pause and then I'm going to come back when it's done. All right, I am back here and it looks like the deployment of the Cloudfront distribution is complete. So it took about 5 minutes right there, it says, for that to complete. So let's go ahead and take a look at the CloudFront distribution here. The last time we left off, um, here's the distribution here. It looks like it's done, so let me just refresh it real quick. And yeah, if I go back into let's modify, um, so yeah, it looks good. It's enabled, and looks like it's ready to go. All right, so then now, um, so how do we test this out, right? So let's take a look at the network diagram again. So now that we deployed the CloudFront distribution and the S3, let's check S3 again to make sure that it does have our file. And if I go into here and I've clicked, there it is. That's the S3 logo.jpg. So now go back into the CloudFront distribution. And if I copy the distribution name here, that's the DNS name of the Cloudfront distribution. Pull up a new web browser, and I'll paste that in, and then I'll specify the path for the file. So that was s3-logo.jpg. And if I hit enter, it's gonna download the S3 logo. There it is. It just downloaded, and if I click on it, there it is. That's what that is. All right, so we're able to do that, and we're good to go there. And so now, if we go back into the CloudFront tab again, there it is. We can check out some other stuff, but there it is, the origin. The origin was the S3 bucket that was specified in the Terraform script. So that looks good. Let's go back into the Terraform script, and we're just going to now destroy everything. So while it was creating the Terraform resources, the Terraform was creating the resources, it also created a log of what happens during that process, and that's under the terraform.tf state file. You can look at that. But yeah, let's go back and remove all of our resources. So to do that, we just say terraform destroy. Nice and simple. Okay, and we say, are you sure you want to destroy? You say yes. All right, again, this is going to take about 5 minutes because the CloudFront distribution is going to take a while to completely be removed. So I'm going to have to pause the video again here. So I will be back. All right, it looks like it took about 5.5 minutes to completely remove all of our resources. So let's take a look at the AWS console again, and under distribution, now we see there's no distribution for CloudFront. And then for the S3, if I do a refresh, S3 bucket does not exist. Let me go back to the general purpose buckets, and there's no more buckets. So there it is. That's how you would use Terraform to deploy these resources.